Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Like, I don't know how to start.
You're doing fine. Just restart.
Okay.
What?
This is funny. Okay, let's
What's
go.
funny?
No, I just feel so shy.
No, for what?
Because I always struggle making like videos where I have to talk. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hey guys, welcome back to my
So to start with, we're going to talk about how we came up with the decision to end our family number. I don't know how do you say it. How do you say it?
No, just decided what we felt like we would be able to manage for children, and kind of decided, with the house being crazy, where would it be, how many kids we would like, and then what our future would look like.
Yeah, so after we had Willow, we had talked about being done having kids. We felt like we were comfortable, and Willow was starting to get a little older, and it's at that stage where, okay, we're out of the toddler I guess like stages, and we felt really happy and excited to explore new things, maybe start planning on traveling and things like that. So we felt comfortable, and we had come up with a decision that we were done, and we had talked about vasectomy already, and we just decided to be done, and we started to make some I guess decisions in our lives that kind of reflected that decision, or just confirmed that decision. I was already driving a minivan because originally the plan was just comfort and kids, and we didn't really think much through it, so we had bought a minivan. And so after deciding that we were done with it, with having kids, we decided that we would just get a truck instead and give up the minivan, and I would take up on his car. But we just made huge decisions because we were so sure that we were done having kids. And come to find out, a week later after we get the truck, I'm pregnant. So yeah, it was a big surprise. Number 3 was a big surprise.
We had a bunch of mixed feelings, mixed emotions.
Yeah, to be honest, we were just not ready for it, and like I said, our decision was pretty set, and yeah, it was a big surprise. But he's here now, and we're just so happy to have him, and he's been such a great blessing. But after number 3, we are totally done. We decided that it was time to just, our family was complete, and it was definitely time to get on making it happen. And so just make it 100% safe.
Yeah. I started looking into the procedure. I didn't know it was a 2-part process. You had to do a brief first, and then after that is the actual surgery. The brief was definitely interesting, to say the least, because when I came back and talked to Allie, she ended up laughing because I kind of found it funny later on. So we did our brief, and they talked about the procedure, what to expect, and then
I YouTubed it.
Yeah, she was YouTubing it. For me, I didn't, because I kind of knew that if I started looking through all that it may sway my decision. So I kind of just went with the brief. And guys, so I did my brief. A brief is about an hour, sometimes shorter. It was definitely informative, lets you know a lot about it, and that's where a lot of people typically say, hey, yeah, I want to go forward with it or not. The brief kind of reassured me that I wanted to do it, but yeah, it was interesting, because when we did the class, we were going through the slides and the information, and the next thing you know, it was a picture of a what's the proper YouTube word instead of saying anything crazy? I guess a picture of a scrotum or testicles that showed up on the screen. And
scrotum sounds so bad.
Well, I
testicles.
Well, there definitely says scrotum in the brief, so either way. But yeah, there was a guy next to me that started feeling kind of like, I guess, lightheaded, and the lady throughout the brief kept saying, you okay, you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. Come to find out, this guy passes out in front of me, and we have to put him on the floor, and we get him some ice packs and stuff, and then we continue on with our brief while this guy's laying on the floor, just getting finished passing out. So we kept rolling. After the brief...
Okay, so I have a question now. How did you feel while you were going through the brief?
I was it was informative. It was definitely, I didn't really know too much about the procedure, because that's the whole intent of me going in. I didn't want to do too much information to kind of sway me from not doing it.
So were you feeling like nervous at all?
I was nervous, but I wasn't too nervous, because I knew it was just a brief. It wasn't a surgery yet, so it was nerve-wracking knowing that the procedure, I was one step closer to it, but I wasn't nervous about the brief. When the guy passed out, I kind of found it funny, because I was like, man, we didn't even see any crazy pictures. It was just a picture of testicles, and the guy passed out. But hey, your tolerance is different for everybody. So, but yeah, we finished the brief, and then after that, I thought it would be like a bang, 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 just the procedures. When the brief is done, then get right to the procedure within a couple weeks. It took me, I want to say it was 3 months after I got my brief that I actually had the surgery. I guess leading up to a couple days, it was kind of funny, because I was looking for like a jock strap, or if I was going to wear compression underwear. So I was on Amazon, and I was looking at, if I was going to wear a jock strap.
No, G-string.
No, definitely the G-string, the jock strap. So your butt's hanging out no matter what, and your jock strap. So I was looking on Amazon, and it had the lower portion of a male, I guess the male model in the jock strap. And Allie just looks over and it's like, what? Like, what in the world are you looking at? Because it's just weird. I'm scrolling through, and all you see is the male bottom portion with a jock strap on. So it was, I could understand why it looked kind of weird. But when I saw it, I was like, oh no, this is definitely not my style. I'm not gonna wear the jock strap. I'll just stick with the compression shorts. So we got some compression shorts. I got them too big, and so we got a size smaller so I can keep everything nice and tight and close together. The morning of it, we kind of were running late. We had a babysitter for the kids, and
well, a friend was watching.
Yeah, we have a friend watch, so babysitter. And I knew I had to be there 30 minutes early, but we didn't make it 30 minutes early. We were about like 15 minutes early. So I had to kind of tell a little white lie and say I didn't know, and I got in there. So that was, it all worked out. So
Okay, why are you talking like that?
What?
You make this like you know what I mean? It sounds so funny.
Well, just trying to be a little wild. That's all.
All right,
No?
go ahead.
No, is that? Oh, you want me to change it up? You just want me to sit here and be like,
No, just be you. It's fine. It's just, it sounds so funny because the way you do it, it's like, this. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, go. 1, 2,
Well, we're
3.
gonna get bloopers then, because
Okay, so when you got there, were you nervous? Like when you actually were at the hospital, is it becoming more real? Like, how did you feel?
Yeah, I was super nervous at this point. And,
No, going back.
yeah, I was super nervous at this point, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do. It was very uncomfortable at first. I had to just get out of my comfort zone because obviously it's all out there on this one. So
what was the procedure like? You got there and
waited. They called me back. Went back there. They did check my vitals, make sure everything was good to go before I could do the procedure. They took me into another room after that. And they asked me if I wanted to have a gown on, or if I just want to drop my trousers and let it all hang out. And at this point, I was like, well, it's all gonna be hanging out there anyway, so I might as well just not even go with a gown. And just
no shame.
No shame. Just
no shame in your game.
Have it sit, just no gown. So I just told him, I was like, yeah, no gown. It's gonna be all out there anyway. So I hopped up on the what would soon be the operating table, and they prepped me, sprayed me down with a bunch of, I think it's called betadine. So they sprayed me down with that. 2 of the assistants, and then after that, put a little tarp over that area until the doc came. And they're like, yeah, you're free to play with your phone and stuff, but like my head was like facing the ceiling. Very uncomfortable position to try to play with your phone. So.
Question: did it shrivel?
Well, it was cold. It was cold, but I mean, I didn't really pay attention to that. But the prep work actually took the longest. When it came to the surgery, it was more the prep work. The surgery was actually pretty quick. So after they prepped me, they left, and maybe within a couple minutes they came back with the doc. The big thing, they'll keep telling you over and over. Everybody will ask, everyone you'll see up to the actual finish of the surgery, do you know what procedure you're having? You'll repeat it, and they'll ask you to actually say what procedure you're having, so you know for sure. They know for sure you know exactly what you're having. And then they'll also make sure that you know.
So what would happen if you're like, by any chance, like, oh, never mind?
I don't know. Then you ain't having the surgery, I guess. But they kept asking me, and I kept telling them, yep, I know I'm having a vasectomy, and yes, I know this is considered a permanent procedure, even though some people can get it reversed. Though if you're not so sure, then I would hold off, because the reversal is very expensive. Yeah, be sure 100%. But the surgery, that doc came in, and after I told him and confirmed that I was ready to have a vasectomy, he asked me if I was ready. I said as ready as I'll ever be. And after that, guys, I know a lot of buddies who up to this point will tell you different stuff. Some people will tell you and make it sound like it's worse than it is. Some people make it sound lighter. For me, quickly, there's some that were telling me, oh yeah, they're gonna stick this big old needle, in your testicle area, and it's a huge needle and all that, trying to pretty much make it sound a lot worse than what it really was. A lot of buddies of mine too that have had it done, a lot of them were pretty supportive and pretty much told me it wasn't that bad. So the surgery started happening, so he ended up sticking a needle, and they actually stuck me twice, one on each side, one for each testicle. So they stuck a needle in, and you feel like a pinch and a burn when they first do it. That's to numb each area before they actually start making their incision, and then they'll make sure that they've numbed it properly. So they'll ask you if you feel any like pain or any pinching or anything like that after that. After that, I kind of didn't even look like at what they were doing. although some places will have like a mirror and you can look at it if you want. All I heard was like a little burning thing, like a and then literally it was that one side was done, and he was like, "Yeah, we're halfway done," and I literally was only there for like 3 minutes. So it surprised me that it was going by pretty quick. Then he went to the opposite side and did the same thing, put the needle in, pinching a burn, and heard a little, it sounded like a little mini blowtorch to kind of essentially burn the ends of your vas deferens. Hopefully I said that right. But they burned that little area, then put a stitch or two in there, and then that was pretty much it. So I was literally less than 10 minutes, I was done. The doc was like, "Hey, yeah, you're gonna be sore for a little bit, immediately go home, take the meds that I gave you." They sat me up, made sure I wasn't lightheaded or dizzy, and then I ended up getting dressed. But when I looked at the incisions, I didn't completely seal the area, so I was a little concerned about that. But they're like, "Yeah, that's the normal set of stitches we give you, because you'd be surprised how quickly that area heals and it'll close up." So they only stick a stitch or two in there just to kind of keep the skin together so that the rest can just kind of heal on its own.
Yeah.
So
after that was done, you had the procedure done, how long did the numbness last?
It lasts about an hour total. That's an hour total from when they first initially stuck me with the needle. Because after about an hour, I started feeling I wouldn't say pain, it was soreness, like really uncomfortable, like sometimes like overly uncomfortable soreness. Because after we finished, they took my vitals before they let me go, and at first everything was numb, so I was just like, "Man, I feel good. I can't believe I just had a vasectomy. Like, I feel good. Like, I can go around, walk around. This is probably," and when everybody said it wasn't that bad, and then it's really not that bad because I don't feel anything right now. So I was like, "Oh, man, I'll probably be able to walk around and do things quicker than I thought." And so I sat around, I waited for Allie because she was there trying to get my prescription. Yeah, so they escorted me down to the pharmacy area with where Allie was. And we,
You were walking like a penguin.
Yeah, I was walking slow, even though I felt pretty good at the time. I definitely felt different down there, for sure, and swollen. But although I did not feel the discomfort yet. So we sat down, and yeah, about an hour into the waiting, the numbness started to wear off. So I started feeling very sore. And then we waited another 45 minutes where I just kept continuing to get more sore because I haven't had any medication in me, like the things they gave me. And our plan was to go get the kids and then all head home together, but I ended up having Allie drop me off at home first so I can actually lay down.
So at this point, how would you rate your pain?
At first, I was never in pain. It's just the soreness. But it was, if you could do a scale of 1 to 10, soreness was probably like a 6 or 7. Never was it ever like a 10 or a 9. It never gotten to that point. It's just very sore, especially when you try to do too much throughout the recovery time.
So did you take any of the meds?
I actually took the lower medication, which was just the Motrin. They gave me another one. It's kind of like comparable to like Vicodin. I didn't take that. I just took the Motrin. So it depends on how people's tolerance are different to the soreness. But for me, I didn't think there was a need to take it. And
so I did advise him to take like the minimal dose first and see how that helped. And then just kind of like add on to it if he needed more. But he did well with the Motrin I think it was like take 2 pills and every
Yeah, no, it was just the 800 milligrams, so I took 1 pill every couple of hours, so anywhere 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then after that, follow what doc had told me to do. Bed rest immediately that day. No big thing for you is after you have surgery, definitely use the bed rest.
Peas, don't forget the peas.
Yes.
Bag of peas.
Advice for the guys: bag of peas or a bag of corn. The steamables, so they actually can maneuver around and you can kind of move them around and make make yourself a little bit more comfortable. And then make sure you tell your significant other that it's for you to have for post-surgery, so they don't go ahead and cook them on you and then you don't have them anymore. So that was kind of my biggest worry, was like,
Yeah, I got a reminder every day about his peas.
Yeah, leave my peas and my corn alone. That's for post-surgery. So, I had my bed rest, and as you saw in probably the post or a pic, to stay tuned, and apologize for the long delay in the video. I got to play quite a bit of video games. I haven't played that many video games like ever, but it was good. Took my mind off the soreness, and I played some video games all day, and Allie took care of me and didn't want me to take the steps, even though for me I couldn't just. I tried not to just lay in the bed, but she pretty much stayed on me to make sure I didn't leave the bed, and actually did the doctor's orders and actually did bed rest for the first 24 hours. And it was also good that we had a Tempur-Pedic bed. It was adjustable, so that actually helped out a lot too. Definitely feel sore for the next, I would say, at least 2 to 3 days. You'll probably feel a very good amount of soreness. Just continue to take the Motrin, if they give you Motrin or whatever the anti-inflammatory is they give you. I would take those, and then kind of test the waters before you take too much medication. At least take the Motrin for the anti-inflammatory. And then after that, again, they'll tell you to stop. Don't lift heavy stuff. You're not really supposed to be lifting more than anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds for the next 2 weeks after your surgery. Don't be hard-headed like me.
It's really difficult.
It's tough. You try to do your daily routine and you forget. The last thing you want to remember is that you just had surgery and you can't lift this. And I'll tell you, your body will definitely tell you if you overdid it, because you'll start feeling sore, and your pain during the recovery process, it was always just soreness. But your body will tell you if you're overdoing it. You will start to get sore, and it will let you know when you're doing too much and you slow down. And that was a frustrating part, really, because I wanted to do more and follow the doctor's rules as much as you feel good. You don't want to have a setback and then have to kind of restart because you're sore. Take the time the doc gives you and slowly increase your workload, your lifting, and I definitely follow the rules, the sexual activity rules, and then the lifting rules. Make sure you follow those. A lot of people, for me, I looked up a lot of stuff like, when can I start resuming lifting, when can I start sexual activity, stuff like that. And I've seen some people on the famous Google that everybody looks up everything on, and there are some pretty interesting comments. Some people 3-4 days after their surgery, doing some crazy stuff, and I'm like, well, no wonder you have complications now, because you didn't follow the doc's orders. They're there for a reason. Even if you're feeling good, remember the rules they put in place and the procedures. They've done this a million times. Listen to what they tell you, and you shouldn't have any issues or problems. If they're swollen, if they're purple, that's fine. That's what it's supposed to be, discoloration. If it gets to the point where it's
like almost blackish,
they're looking black. They're way oversized. You're getting some discharge out of the incision sites. Then that's when you need to go back to the doctor, because you might have an infection or there's a complication with the surgery and the recovery. So that's one of the things you want to look out. But if it's, you know, got some purpleness and bruising, that's normal, and, you know, ice it. And if you start feeling sore, start taking it easy. Take a seat, sit down, relax. But after that, now I'm done. I've had the surgery, what, 3.5, 4 weeks ago? 3.5, 4 weeks ago, and I feel great. No complications at all. Resumed my normal activity. I'm lifting my normal weight that I normally lift, which is mainly my kids. But
we resumed our love life.
Yeah, everything.
And everything works.
Everything works. That's kind of the big nervousness for me, was what happens when that.
Yeah, I was nervous too.
When the first time after the surgery, that definitely made me nervous. I was definitely nervous, you know, for, you know, making sure everything was okay at the end. Everything was okay at the end, you know. You know, it's always crazy, wild thoughts was going through my mind. Like, what happens if they didn't do the procedure right, and, you know, things go where they're not supposed to go, or, you know, different things going through the mind. But overall, I would definitely tell you guys, it's not as bad as everybody says it is. You just want to make sure this is 100% what you want to do before you go ahead and do it, because again, they tell you it's pretty much a permanent procedure, even though people can reverse it, because at the end of the day, you could do the reversal and still not have children and still not be effective, because there's a huge chunk they take out for the percentage of success of having children after you have a reversal. And then the longer you wait to do the reversal, the less likely your chance of actually being able to have or produce children. So make sure this is definitely what you want to do. You know, me and Allie, we were definitely 100% sure that we didn't want any more kids. We actually didn't want any more kids. I think we were pretty solid on that plan after 2, like we said. But you know, God blessed us with another child, and we're very happy with our 3 children. So we're 100% sure we're done. 3 beautiful children. You know, and I wouldn't change the decision at all. Biggest thing I was worried about was regret later on, that I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm 100% solid that we made the right decision.
Yeah.
What's best for our family. I think the big thing too is let be parents to our 3 beautiful children, young couple. Obviously Allie younger than me. Actually, I'll be turning 30 soon. So, but young couple still, so I can be an active dad, and she can be an active mother.
Yeah, and also just like we were part of it too was just my mental health too. Just it's not the greatest. It's not what I would like it to be. So I feel like for me it was just honestly it was the biggest reason. Because if I could, I'd have more children. But just for the sake of our family, for the sake of my health, it was just the best decision to make.
Oh yeah, so easy procedure. Each side, basically, start on one side, incision, cut, burn each side, put it back in. Other side, burn, put it back in, done. So it's as simple and easy as it sounds. It takes literally, you know, I said less than 10 minutes I was done with the surgery. The prep work was the longest work. Took the most time. And then after that, it's just the road to recovery, and just take it easy. Take your days, enjoy your 3 days of bed rest. I know some places vary, but take your 3 days of bed rest, you know, and recover so that you can be...
fully took advantage of those 3 days.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely would not deny that. Not going to work for 3 days was great. Don't dissuade yourself, even though you know this is what you want to do and you're just nervous about the procedure. If you're 100% sure, definitely do the procedure. It's not as bad as it is. Easy procedure, and I would do it again if I had to go turn back the hands of time. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
So I think that is all, but if you guys have any questions that you would like us to answer, don't hesitate to ask. But yeah, please don't be afraid to ask us any questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them. But that's it, guys. No more babies for us.
Nope, no more.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you for watching.